Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil Amuti, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy! Happy Wednesday, Great Girlfriends! I hope that you are enjoying I'm just going to declare that you are having a magnificent day wherever you are with your friends and family, and that you're spreading love all around the world, because that is what we're all about. I'm super excited. Super duper excited. This is like a special edition, like Barbara Walters 2020 level, almost like an expose interview that I'm doing today with my mama,
Yay,
Jean Clark.
Yay.
Yay, let me give you a big round of applause. Yay! Better clap it up for yourself. This is my mom's second time in the studio, because when you came last June, you were in the studio with us.
I was.
Yes. So you were here for a few recordings, right?
Correct.
And we didn't interview that day. But today I asked her if she would hop on the mic. She said, of course. I was like, oh, well, come on, get in the microphone then. Have a seat. Come on, sit down. Can you please, before we get started, Mom, tell them to go leave their iTunes review? Give them like a mama, like you need to go leave your iTunes review. Like, tell them. Mama said.
Well, Mama said it's the right thing to do in any and every situation.
So, in any and every situation, you should leave your iTunes review. You heard it from my mama. My mama don't play. She said she's going to pull up on you if you don't go right now to iTunes and leave your review. It should be how many stars, Mom?
Oh, 5 at least.
It should be 5 stars. Because if it's not 5 stars, it's not a review.
Absolutely.
We don't want it if it's less than 5 stars.
Mm-mm.
So we're urging you right now, look them in the camera, Mom, and tell them to go leave their iTunes review.
Go, G-O, and leave your iTunes review with 5 points or more, if you can.
5 stars or more. Yes, that's what we're...
5 stars. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to talk today with my mom and with you, great girlfriends. We have been talking a bit about friendship, and I feel like there's a theme about celebrating friendship, having great friendship, keeping peace in your relationships.
Absolutely.
Knowing when to have strong boundaries, knowing what how to be enjoyed in friendship, or to know what you need out of friendship. And I have seen my mother, and I've told y'all this on multiple episodes, that I think you have some of the greatest girlfriends on the planet.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Like,
Sybil.
she really, truly has. We will be blessed to be at my mom's ripe age of 62. Let me tell the truth.
You sound really good.
You want me to tell them the real age?
I've flown it.
My mother is 80. 80 years young.
Yoo-hoo!
80 years young. And have such a beautiful example and display of friendship that she has. So I'm not going to let her tell it first. I'm going to tell it. So I've witnessed, not even just as an adult, but even as a child, I witnessed you have friends that have traveled with you from high school.
Correct.
Peaches.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget about Peaches.
To college, Coach McCrae.
Yes.
Daisy Phillips.
Yes.
And I can name, I shouldn't be naming people's full names like that, but I should be naming, I can name multiples upon multiples of friends that have traveled with you through life and are still to this day your great girlfriends.
Absolutely.
And even in your church circle, you have so many wonderful great girlfriends who are not even your same age. You know, age range varies, but the connection is so deep. They travel, they eat, they have fun, they pray, they laugh, they just do exciting things. They go to shows together. They just do exciting things together. And so I've seen you be able to navigate it. And I think you set a really great example for me, Leslie, and Minthia to learn how to not just have a good sisterhood, but also like be friends to people, or even desire to have friends that love us.
Absolutely. Because when you put the love out there, you're going to receive love and all of the components of love that go with it, which is peace, joy, lots of understanding each other, learning about one another, compromising when you need to. But the journey is sweet when you have good friends that support you in everything and they don't drop off, when you have problems.
So then tell me from your perspective, what is a great girlfriend?
A great girlfriend is a girlfriend who respects me. She's not broke. She likes to do things. She enjoys life.
Okay.
She's sunny, full of energy. And she's always open to doing things with you.
I like that. I like sunny.
I like that too.
And good and full of energy and always open to doing things with you. Okay, why is her being broke an issue?
Well, we all know that it does take resources in order to do things. Now, we can enjoy walking, the sunshine, blue skies.
The free stuff. Look, girl, let's go look at some birds together since you broke.
All of that, But there are times when you do want to branch out. And in order to branch out, I'm talking about you get hungry. It's a natural thing to get hungry. Well, hey, I'd like to be able to go out. If I want to have a steak, I don't need to say, well, let me check my account first. I want to be free enough to say, I want a steak from a steakhouse. I'd like to travel on a limb. I mean, just like snap, without having to wait on a check to come in.
Gotcha.
No codependency, but planning ahead with the future, knowing that being broke is at the bottom of the list. And just like the woman, as I told you the other night, from Gone with the Wind, she lifted her fist and she declared, I will never be broke. So with that being said, the formula is greater than or equal to.
Oh, I like that.
You like
that?
that?
I like that. Greater than or equal to, but
Right.
never less than.
Never, ever less than.
But what if you have a great girlfriend who was equal to, say, for example, or greater than, and she hit hard times and she becomes less than? Are you dropping her because she's broke, or what happens?
I won't drop her.
Okay.
I'll keep her on the radar.
Okay.
But I'm keeping her on the radar in order to encourage her. And if I need to go in my pocketbook to help her too many times, I mean, it may be time to kind of wean yourself away from that individual if they're trying to, if you see a motive that is less than what a great girlfriend would have.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I want to know from you, because I've seen what I've seen, and I think it's been great to see how your friends show up for you. I feel without question. They just decide to show up. They make the choice to love you. And I think that's like a true component to me of great girlfriendship, like people choosing to love you. You don't have to ask, can you please include me on this? Can you please, you don't have to beg them for their affection or their desire. Their desire is to enjoy you and to love you.
Right.
And so how important has that been for you as you've navigated so many chapters?
I've got a lot fewer wrinkles.
Come on.
This is because primarily with my great girlfriends, they pretty much have the same types of energy that I have. And when my energy level is low, theirs is up. When theirs is low, mine is up.
Mm-hmm.
So when we put it together, it's like a glass of lemonade.
Nice and sweet and
Nice
tangy
and sweet.
refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love my girlfriends.
Give me an example of a time when you didn't expect them to show up in a way that they did and someone was just there for you.
Well, then you get into the intimate moments.
Yes, and that's what we like here at the Great Girlfriends. We like an expose. So let's go.
Well, I've got a lot of those examples, but right off the top, I look at all of the things that I've had to overcome in life, and as soon as they were made aware of, let's just say, illnesses, they immediately began to come to my rescue. And I get a little teary-eyed when I think about it because I just never thought they would go so far as to celebrate me with parties and gatherings and prayer meetings and any and everything that I needed. And they wanted nothing from me. So I had to learn to accept love like I give it. Yeah. You know, I had to learn how to receive the love that they were giving me. And then when I thought about it, I was like, well, I really am just getting back that which I put out. And it's good. It's refreshing.
Well, I'll get a little more gritty with the details if you won't. But
Okay.
because when you received that cancer diagnosis,
Yeah.
and you had no children at home, so it was just you and Dad at home,
Absolutely.
and your great girlfriends, when you were going through chemotherapy, were bringing food not just for you, but also for Dad.
Absolutely.
And sending cards. Like, she had in her dining room and living room, great girlfriends, cards that span the walls from her great girlfriends and her village, just continually pouring love and connection and checking in. And the again, I want to reiterate, like, you know, when you're going through that and you can't cook and don't have the will to, like, even eat or even just be up, they kept being sunny. And they kept being energetic, and they sent so much support, and they made sure that you never had a gap in your connection.
Absolutely. You know, they would come after church, and they would bring the food, and we'd sit around the table, and they would encourage me to eat. When I couldn't eat, it was because of those ladies and the prayers that they sent up for me, that I was able to digest food, hold it in, keep it in, and get the nutrients from the food that I needed in order to survive and still be here. That takes a lot of sensitivity, a lot of true grit, and a lot of love. Because, see, you're coming out of your comfort zone and reaching out to someone else, and you don't want to see them going through this kind of thing without help. And so the help that I received, I will forever be grateful. I watched so many people who were not able, they were not strong enough to go through what I went through. Mm-hmm. And it was because of the great girlfriends that I had. And they were God sent. And they were stable. And they were reliable. I didn't have to worry about a thing. And it was almost like they were thinking ahead of me, planning, securing me in every way. And because things were not pretty. You know, the loss of hair.
What? Come on, crown.
But look at my crowning glory now. You know, the beautiful
You've
color.
always been a hair girl.
And people tell me how beautiful my hair is. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you, you know. So when I feel like it's time for me to Annie up and maybe color the gray, somebody will come along and they'll say, "Oh, I love your hair. It's so beautiful." You know? And this makes me feel like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
God healed me 100%. And I'm super duper grateful to be here.
Yeah. Have you ever felt like women need to, like today, when you observe women in friendship or what you see in the media or what you might watch on shows, like, have you ever felt like the narrative is wrong? Like, are you seeing what you know to be true about friendship?
Well, I know that we should never be envious of one another. We should never be jealous. When we entertain those kinds of feelings, we need to back them up and support each other. There's plenty of room at the top. Plenty of room. In fact, it's too crowded at the bottom. You want to excel and go as far up as you can.
It is too crowded at the bottom.
Yeah, it's much too crowded. You don't
gotta
want to be
preach.
down there.
Come
You
on.
want to be up,
Yeah.
you know? And so my Savior lifts me. And, you know, with all that I've been through life, I've had a terrible injury to my hand. And now my hand is almost healed. Surgery, I got two plates, all kind of pins and staples in there. But my hands are lifted up, you know. And I'm just grateful. I'm thankful that I got sense enough to know that on the top side of the soil is where the action is.
Ta. So have you ever in your friendships felt competitive or insecure?
I've always been the one to encourage.
No, but have you ever felt like, man, I'm feeling kind of like competitive, like, or insecure in this relationship, or like I'm feeling, even some jealousy, like, because I mean, we're human. So you might have a friend that's doing something and you're like, I'm clapping for her, but I am feeling like a little bit jealous or something like that. Have you ever felt that?
Well, maybe just a little with the hair thing. You know, hair is so important. And I think I possibly, like if I see a friend of mine she's looking extra good, the hair is just laid, I might want to change my hair. But, you know, I can go get a wig. I can pin it up. I can release it. I can do so many original things to my hair. So I don't have any need to really feel competitive, envious, or jealousy, because I can do with my hair anything I want to do. Now, if it's something else, like maybe she's writing a book, then I start, I never wrote a book before. I've done a lot of writings, but never a book. So maybe I should write a book. Why not do a series, you know? I got a lot to tell, a lot to talk about, and a lot of great friends who've given me stories. So maybe write
Maybe
a book.
inspired.
I get
Well, because
inspired.
there's a fine line between admiration and then it can admiration, if it's not supported properly, can turn into jealousy, right? Because you can go from like, wow, I really admire something that someone's doing, to, wow, they're doing a lot that I'm not doing. Not saying you're feeling this way, but it can happen in great girl friendship where a person can go from, I admire it to my friend, to like, I'm sort of jealous that I haven't had the courage to be able to do a thing, or that they're moving ahead and I feel like I'm being left in a certain spot. I've seen that come up in conversations that I've had on the podcast, or even emails that great girlfriends send in, that, you know, sometimes they have mismanaged the admiration and they start to feel just a bit jealous or competitive or left behind in friendship. What would you say to that great girlfriend?
For that, I would say, be secure within yourself. Take a look at yourself. Look in the mirror look at your abilities, know what they are. If that individual has something going on that you greatly admire and you want to get connected to it, connect up with your girlfriend. If she is in connection with you, she will share. You might find that you're really not jealous at all. That what it took for her to do what she's doing was a gift to her, or it may take the harder work that you actually may not be interested in doing. So be secure within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about friendship and grief. And the reason I want to is because after 53 years of marriage, Mr. Willester Clark, your husband, my daddy,
My baby.
your baby, transitioned. And in that transition, during COVID too, I just want to say it was during COVID, which was like, oh my goodness, the most rugged year of all. But in that transition, I witnessed your great girlfriends be so connected and be so available and never miss a beat. And even in Dad's, in dealing with Parkinson's, they were, which I think is so special and something that I think is a standard of mine, they were a friend to your marriage. And I think that's so big because women in marriage oftentimes will say that their friends will be a friend to them and they not be a friend to their marriage. And one of my rules is if you're my friend, you Kwaku, Sam, Dylan, and Willie, and everybody attached to me is a package. Like you, and if it's not, then it doesn't work because I'm not going to separate myself from my family.
From your family.
So I love that your friends were like, I see that your husband is going through something, which means if it affects him, it affects you. And they made themselves available to your marriage. That's a really big deal.
Marriage is a covenant agreement. The covenant agreement says until the bonds are broken by death. So, with that being said, and having friends, we were going through a really tough time. I was recovering from cancer, and he was going through not cancer, but Parkinson's. And when the friends knew what I was struggling with, all the more they would jump in, offer to take us to doctor appointments. Continuously, they brought food. They brought distilled water, not just water, but distilled water, which cost a little bit more. They come over and wash dishes, straighten up, clean up, I was just, once again, I was grateful. I was so thankful because I was sick and so was he. But I didn't know how deep his sickness was until I decided, well, I'm gonna take a cruise, and I'm gonna take him on a cruise. So this particular morning, I had gotten the birth certificate together, the passport, and everything that he needed, and he had agreed to go. He said, "All right, just for you, I'll go because it's more water than I can ever drink, but I'm going to go for you." So as it was, he was coming out of the shower, and I took one look, and I was like, "Honey, you're like skin and bones. We got to get you to a doctor right away." So this was like maybe a week or two before the cruise, and got him to the doctor, and the diagnosis just was not good at all. So from there, when I told my girlfriends, I didn't want to accept it. Mm-hmm. It was just so hard. And as I was saying just earlier, the diagnosis of cancer for me and being in remission, and then for him, I knew that there was no I knew that there was no nothing the doctors could do to help him, just make him comfortable. But with cancer, there was hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really didn't want to accept it. And I finally did, and we put the cruise on hold. And of course, I was able to get my money back. Once again, those resources could be useful for something else. But we went through that journey, and I started grieving ahead of time. And I was very thankful for that time because it helped to make it easier. 53 years with my husband, we were like beans and cornbread. Oh my goodness, we were like, it was like an anchor for me and I for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you're coming to the rescue also. I can't forget about that because you came to Memphis
Mm-hmm.
and you spent a whole year. You and the family were there for us for the entire year. And this was before moving on to California. So even that was such a big boost to me. I remember standing outside of his window and all of us outside of the window because of COVID, we couldn't go inside.
Mm-hmm.
And we sang to him, did tributes, and I think it was Father's Day.
Yep, it was Father's Day.
Yeah. And he just kind of smiled, and even that was such beauty with that, such togetherness, the whole family there. So I thank God, and I thank you, and I thank everybody else, the girlfriends who came and gave well wishes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was beautiful. It was a memory I can hold on to. And if you got a great girlfriend, cherish her.
Please.
Love her.
Yeah.
Hold her up. Stick with her. Be reliable.
That's good. Be
Yeah,
reliable. How do you know when it's time to end a friendship?
Well, you don't really know. It's a thing like they just drop off, and maybe it'll be revived again, maybe not.
Mm.
Could be they're moving on into something else. But the important thing is when you need somebody, you got people there, and you know their nature, their character. And there's a lot to say for that because a lot of people don't possess the character that's needed. Kindness, compassion, unselfishness, love of Christ, practicing the things that you know to do, being upbeat as much as you can, being low beat when you need to so you can get the support that you need.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think that you don't think that you ever have to close a door per se. They just sort of fall off when they no longer fit the mold.
When they no longer fit the mold, whatever that may be, when when things change for people, I mean, when it's time to drop off,
Mm-hmm.
and when you can revive it, and the person. So if you need them, you can always still go to them. They're kind of like insurance. You hold them in reserve until you need them. Every now and then you check in. Hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Buttercups. Have a little fun. Maybe go to lunch. Have some coffee.
Mm.
Yeah, but just enjoy one another. Life is short.
So what happens because you're in a different stage of friendship where many of you are retired.
Correct.
So y'all just hang a lot. Like y'all are always hang. They hang. They always hanging. They're hanging They hang. They go everywhere. They do all the things. But there once upon a time was a stage where you could get too busy. You could find that a friend is not as available, or you may not be as available for friendships. You're in a different stage right now, but have you ever had to challenge a friend when you expected more from them than they were able to give?
There were times when I wanted to do things. For example, there's a lot to see around Memphis. You don't have to go to one of the islands and take a chance of getting run off or getting hurt, You don't have to go to London. You don't have to go a long distance in order to have a good time. The Tina Turner Museum is right up the street, less than, say, 50 miles, 25 to 30 miles. So, plan a day of girlfriends getting together, go up and shake it up, see things, learn about different things, and then enjoy lunch together. Come on back home, and you've had a great day.
So you were saying you like to do things.
I like to do things.
And maybe in this case, was this a friend that didn't want to do as much? Is that what you were saying?
What I'm saying is most of the time, if it's a friend that does not or cannot do some of the things I'd like to do, they will often drop off because they got to pick up the grandkids from school. They've got to take the grandkids to school. They have obligations on them that I don't have. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, I'm freed up. They're tied up. So, to go to a movie impromptu, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. So when I get ready to do something, I call on the ones that I know pretty much are able to go and do with me the things I enjoy. However, I also like myself, and so I keep it moving. I go to the pool. I meet new people, make new friends. So that's a whole network of people at the pool that I have met. And, we do we've gone to breakfast together, celebrated birthdays together. So then I have a church crew. I have maybe 3 different groups of friends in the church group.
Oh, I'm telling.
And the
friends.
And the retired teachers group.
I'm telling.
I've got all these friends who are retired and who can do things. So that offsets the ones who are retired and cannot do. And then I've got the California crew of friends that I'm making.
See?
And I set up a date with a friend just today. Mm-hmm. So
wait, here?
Yeah.
Who is it? You'll tell me offline.
I'll tell you.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I want to know, what is life like for you lately?
Life for me
lately
is full of excitement. I'm digging in the dirt because I love plants. I'll get to see the end product, a little bit of it before I leave. I'm going shopping impromptu. I'm finding all these great buys. I'm thinking about the Galleria. Do I want to go back there, or do I want to celebrate something else? I'm glad that you went to Universal, this time without me.
Too busy.
Yeah. I've got thank you cards to do for friends. I'll take some time and do that.
So life lately is leisure, is what I'm hearing?
It's leisure, fun, getting to know people, new people, making connections.
What advice would you have for a great girlfriend who doesn't have friends, who feels like, I don't have quality friendships? Like I just, because I'll say this, Mom, part of this community for me is about putting on display the power of friendship. And a lot of people that listen to the podcast or may watch on YouTube, as you should subscribe, side note, will say that they don't have quality great girlfriends in their life. They don't feel that connection. They might say even in their city, they don't have that. I've heard a lot of people say, well, in my city, it's different. Women don't do that, or I haven't connected in that way, or I'm introverted. And Mama Jean seems to be quite the extrovert. So for her, having all these circles, it's a bit easier. What would you say to the woman who's feeling isolated like that?
To the woman who's feeling isolated like that, I would suggest learn to love yourself, the me in you, the you in you, and the I. Define the things that you like. Put a smile on your face. Be friendly. Talk to people. You'd be surprised how many people will enjoy talking to you. Be a good listener. Learn about people. If there's misery, unhappiness in that particular person's life, maybe bring them some flowers. A flower. Be the flower. And just relax.
Relax. Chill. Bro, you gotta chill. You're too wound too tight. You need to chill. I think so. I love that because I believe that part of that story of when you say I don't have is that insufficiency. You feed the insufficiency. When you say I don't have something, you're constantly feeding the insufficiency of whatever that thing is that you don't have. So I think it's important to, instead of thinking, whenever you think I don't have that, say I'm worthy of having that. I'm worthy of having great friendships. I'm worthy of having loyal friends. You call them sunny friends, energetic friends.
Right.
I'm worthy of having of being the flower and experiencing the flower. I'm worthy of that. And I'm available. Say I'm available for that. I'm available for great friendship. Sometimes we've set ourselves up to be unavailable because we've been so busy focusing on what we don't have that we've not made room for what we want to have. So how about we try saying, I'm available. I'm available for great girl friendship, and put it out there.
Absolutely.
Put it out there. I'm available for new friendships and great girl friendships and fun and exciting adventures with new people. And I'm available for long-lasting love and friendship. I'm available for loyalty and friendship. I'm available for these things. And I've decided I am not available for people who do not love me the way that I think I should be loved. I'm not available for them. I'm just not. You could be.
I agree.
But I don't have time for it. I'm not. I'm making space because I have to make room for the people who do want to love me pleasurably, who find pleasure in being the flower and giving the flower. So I don't want to make room for things that are not. And I think great girlfriends, for those of you who are feeling invalidated in your relationships, perhaps you've made room for the wrong thing, too much room for the wrong thing, and not enough room for the right thing. So making those adjustments and having new qualifiers by saying, you know what? I've been a little too available for the mess. I'm no longer available for that. I'm available for quality conversations with quality women who are making quality decisions and who want to love me unconditionally. I think that's how you get to what Mama has in her life, which are friends that have traveled through so many chapters
Absolutely.
together, who have agreed to disagree for years and have come back to say, hey, we agree on this stage. We didn't agree on that. Or, I don't agree with all your choices here, but I love you and I'm available to love you. I'm just not going to be a part of all your choices. And that's okay too, because I want to sit when I'm 80. I want to be overloaded with a book calendar like yours.
Yeah.
And even before you came to LA, I thought it was so super special. They act like she's going away for life. They're like, oh my God, she going away. She ain't even gonna be gone that long, maybe a little longer. But she's like, they made a whole going away dinner party to send her off to LA as if she was going off in the Navy or something. I'm like, wait, but that's what they do for each other. They find like the pleasure in the big and the small moments, and they're like, celebrate. And it's like, maybe I should be more celebratory on this, because you just never know what moment is the last moment. So why not make every moment special?
A precious moment.
Why not make it special? And I love that appreciation that you all show for one another. You have made space for that. You have not made space for people who don't appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Consequently, you're immersed in appreciation. And I just want to encourage any great girlfriend who's watching who questions whether or not you can have it. You can have it. You have to make space for the right thing, and the recipe will work in your favor. It's like if you're baking a cake.
Yes.
Too much of the wrong thing you'll have a lopsided cake. It won't taste right. It tastes too salty.
You have a mess.
You have a mess. So it's about putting the right ingredients in place at the right time. I love having this conversation with you. Great girlfriend. Girl. It's the only time I can say girl, and she's not going to spank me. Where can they keep up with you on social media? I ask it all the time. Do not. She doesn't have social, so don't even try to follow her. It's a joke.
Okay. Well, once upon a time, I did have social media. I was on Facebook, and I do have email.
Don't email her. Do not. She is unavailable.
And I am learning how to. Well, I want to get on Instagram and see what's popping on there.
Oh, you want to see what's popping?
Yes.
Okay. Well, until she has an Instagram account, you can follow me at Sybil_Moody, and you can follow the Great Girlfriends, and I'll keep you updated on what's happening with Mama Jean.
Who makes great girlfriends?
Who makes great girlfriends? Any last words of wisdom for the Great Girlfriends regarding friendship and life and love and all the things?
Love one another. Be careful what comes out of your mouth. Keep the positive there. Ditch the negative. And just relax. Chill. Life is too short for anything else. It's too uncertain. Go for it. Live it. Live it. Live your best life. It's an adventure. Beautiful adventure if you live it right, properly. And you'll turn 80 and even 80 plus.
Yes.
With snap, crackle, and pop.
Come on, snap, crackle, and pop.
Lots of pizzazz. Ooh, that's where it's at.
I love it. Yay. Great Girlfriends, if you enjoyed this episode and you want more of Mama Jean's wisdom, or you have any questions for her, you can send us an email at welcome@thegreatgirlfriends.com. It's been such a pleasure to have this time with you. We are sending blessings, love, and sunshine and flowers your way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, I love you, Mama.
Yes, I love you too, Sybil.
Peace, Great Girlfriends. Mwah. All right, Great Girlfriends. Did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends. Follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at _GreatGFS. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.
Yay Networks.